I don't know who this is. The MrBeast-ification of Joshua Weissman. I have no idea who this is. I don't know. I've never heard of this man before. By jayohee? So yeah, I've no idea who this is. We'll just look at it. Because this video seems fairly normal, and I need something normal after this one. So yeah, let's look at this. I have no idea who this is. Also, if you like this kind of content, please consider liking, subscribing. Yeah, let's just get into it. I have no idea who this is. But I have a general issue, which not just goes to Joshua, but in general. The entire issue I have recently is that everything is getting slowly MrBeast-ified. Fast-paced, high saturated thumbnails, quick edits. I just don't like it anymore.
Joshua Weissman has become the frontman of culinary YouTube, boasting almost 10 million subscribers.
Holy shit, that's actually good for a cooking channel? I didn't even... Oh, yeah, well, there is a niche always. Didn't even know that that's a thing.
Series have taught millions of viewers how to cook, from something as basic as an egg to as complex as a 100-layer lasagna. So what could have happened to make his dedicated community of hungry viewers turn on him? I was scrolling through Reddit and I saw this post. This is the...
Why does he look like long-haired Ludwig? Long-haired Ludwig! And a little bit of a puffy face. 10.3 now, he's popular, yeah. YouTube needs to bring back long-form content. I mostly really just watch long-form content because I just love video essays. I love video essays. I watch mostly video essays.
Top post on Josh's subreddit. It's just this picture of Josh's channel where the videos are clickbaity, eye-tested viral cooking gadgets, 3-minute versus 3-hour. You can tell that these videos seem closer to like a MrBeast type video and less like a cooking show. And obviously, as you can tell from the response, Josh has not always been this way. The comments from his community are like, I miss the old style videos. I just hope that he's happy. Die a hero or live long enough to become a YouTube clown. It's a little harsh. I'm sure he's making bank, but it is a bit sad if you used to be a fan of his recipes. And there's so many more comments like this. But I think to talk about...
Like, it makes sense that her own old fans would be disappointed or annoyed. I've seen the same sentiment with, like, MrBeast. I've seen the same sentiment with, like, streamers that have been around for a bit where, like, you have changed. I don't like your content. The problem also is sometimes, though, that some people also grow out of it and then be like, yeah, that was cringe when I watched that. It happens, but yeah, in general, I'm not... It's okay.
Really where the point was where Josh's community turned away from him, we have to go back to the beginning. About 7 years ago, Josh Weissman started his YouTube channel, posting this video called the Slim Palette Paleo Cookbook. It's a video about a cookbook that he created when he seems to be a teenager about cooking under the paleo diet. He talks about his struggles with losing weight, eating healthy, and how he wanted to make that more accessible for people, and this kind of unlocked a love for cooking in him.
Being overweight was a huge hindrance on my life, and eventually I lost over 100 pounds, and I'm healthy, I'm happy. So I started cooking. I started writing down my recipes and all the different...
Really cool. Really cool. Interesting. Maybe I should move myself to the side. But yeah, really interesting that kickstarted this. Really cool. But what happened? I guess money is the reason why I lost his original way? That just makes sense, though. That's a lot. That happens to a lot of content creators. It just does. It sucks, but it happens.
Dishes I was making, I would keep them written down so that I could revert back to them. And then eventually I lost over 100 pounds. So I started Slim Palette to share not only my recipes, but my story.
After that, Josh tried a lot of different content. Originally, it was just cooking with the recipes on screen, no talking, little music in the background. It was very aesthetic of like 9 years ago. And these videos did pretty well, getting him a few thousand views and starting to build his audience. He then also made a commentary type video on something that he saw online that really bothered him. It was about a company that posted something about real food. It was an anti-preservative kind of post. And in this essay video, he goes through and talks about why he thinks that's a problem.
The fact that that sentence said that because something lasts on the shelf beyond 6 months is not real food. Prosciutto is real food. Those are all things that are made from real food.
Yeah, you can also just preserve things for very long. That doesn't mean they're not real food. Now, American food is, to some degree, not real food. Frog made a post on Twitter literally saying, like, she does not want to, she's afraid of going back to the United States because of the food. Because she actually feels healthier from eating, like, European German food. Like, she literally saying I should send her food and, like, ingredients so she can make food. Because, like, yeah, apparently it's not that good.
Real ingredients. The coolest thing about prosciutto is most companies that produce prosciutto in a traditional fashion literally just use pork and salt. So you want to talk about real food. How's 2 ingredients sound to you? If you're a huge person in the health community, when you say something, people will believe it, and you have to be really careful, and that type of stuff is not going to fly.
You see in that video that Josh really takes a stand against kind of this gatekeeping of food, this elitist movement in food, this ignorance in food. Talking about how big creators or big people in the health or cooking space need to watch what they say because it can have a real impact on people. They can start boycotting foods. They can start shying away from...
Yeah, boycotting foods. They may do things that might be unhealthy. I've seen, like, that even works for, like, the fitness industry, right? When they are like, oh, eat raw food and like raw honey, raw milk, and it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Put the fries in the bag. You're just lying. You should stop lying, or go don't eat any meat at all, or don't eat any greens at all. When we here in Europe suffer that we don't get enough like carbs and stuff, right? Let's open a cooking show. Hey, I mean, I definitely would do cooking videos if I had the possibility. For now, I don't, but we will get a mic upgrade. I will sound more crispy on probably Wednesday, though we will play around with the mic a bit to get the proper setting. Gatekeeping food is a funny term. Okay, we're actually go snap a video, sure, on your end. Yeah, we can do that. Liver Kings enter the chat. Raw meat. Don't wash your chicken and don't eat it raw. Yeah, and don't fry it in orange juice.
Foods that maybe they shouldn't. And I think it's very telling that Josh in his earlier videos felt very motivated to talk about this, and we'll kind of come back to this a little bit later. Josh then proceeds to start a series called Cooking Isn't That Hard. In this series, he teaches you, the viewer, how to cook very basic things such as, you know, steak, fried chicken, shrimp scampi, things that you've eaten all the time, things that your mom or dad knows how to make and made when you were a kid. It was a series geared towards teaching you how to cook, and I think this is really where Josh started to find his love for both being on camera and for outreaching to people and teaching them how to cook in a new medium. I mean, he talked about having a blog before, he had then moved into a cookbook, and now he had created a YouTube channel to foster and build that community. And you can kind of see from this that these videos, they did...
It is really true. You live long enough. You're the die hero will live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or a slop tuber, whatever you want to call it. I have to say that there is certainly definitely an issue recently with content creators abandoning the ways to do what works better, which I can understand. Like, I get it, right? It's your job. You need to adjust course, right? If something goes wrong, right? But the problem, huge problem, is that your core audience might not like that, and that's a problem. Cause you know you wanna have your people. If your people don't like you anymore, you might face some issues later. But I love carbs. I used to eat noodle sandwich when I was fat. I loved eating noodles when I was a kid, but I was underweight, actually. I was the exact opposite. But yeah, I was the exact opposite in that case, in comparison to you, because I was really underweight. Like, I was really underweight. I was a stick in a field. I was really scrawny when I was a kid. It was crazy. But yeah, noodles are nice. Noodles are nice. I've so many. We eat a lot of noodles, actually.
pretty okay, and they improved in quality. I mean, the thumbnails got a lot better. Josh became more comfortable in front of the camera. One of his staples is his intro where he opens up a cupboard and you're inside. And it was just this cheeky art kind of intro that really showed that Josh started to develop a vibe for his videos. And Josh continued to kind of ride this wave. There was a real need for cooks on YouTube. There was a real audience for people that wanted to learn how to cook in a nice, accessible way. It only made it better that over this period of time, Josh had already improved his quality. The thumbnails were nice and punchy. The intros were nice and relaxing. He had lo-fi music in the background. It felt like somebody actually sitting down and teaching you how to cook, running you through the basics. We also see that Josh had started 3 new series that did very well, but cheaper, but better, and but quicker.
But cheaper, but better, but quicker. Interesting, interesting, very interesting. It's crazy. I'm not on the weight yet. Wait, yet, so it's bad. True, true. Yeah, for me it was, I didn't eat anything at all. Like, I eat barely a little bit of noodles, because that was the only thing I liked. I never eat vegetables at all. I wasn't really a fruit eater either. Even though I liked fruit, I wasn't really eating much fruit at all. And meats, except for chicken, I most of the time did not like meat. I like salami. Salami was fine. But most of the time I was like, yep, not a fan of meat. Not a fan of vegetables. Just noodles. And that was what I was living off as a kid, just noodles. Now I have very much developed a taste for bitter stuff. I didn't like vegetables because they were kind of bitter. But, like, yeah. I like spinach, for example. Spinach is great. Can't get enough of that.
3 series were really going to be the hard hitters that were going to skyrocket Josh's career on YouTube. But Better was about how to make different things you'd had at fast food restaurants back home and making them better. But Cheaper was about the same type of thing, except making things that were typically very expensive into cheaper alternatives. Again, the main focus being this accessibility. $14 to make a fancy date night dinner at home. You can see from the thumbnails it's like Michelin star type plates, but it's really, really cheap. And then finally, But Quicker, which was about how to make things that you typically got delivered or went and picked up for takeout at home, showing that oftentimes it's quicker to cook them as long as you know what you're doing. Again, the focus of all 3 of these series were about accessibility. The focus was on how can we bring food, something that is very daunting to people that don't cook, to the people and show them it's really not that hard. And
it really isn't. Cooking food is not that hard. You can do really healthy meals in under an hour. You can do really healthy meals in like 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. It is not hard, and I think we should bring back cooking as a viable skill. In fact, we learned cooking in school. Nowadays, they don't do that anymore. Like, they don't do that anymore nowadays. To they didn't do that anymore. To, like, my middle school, in the next city where I was in, they removed that. Like, they don't have cooking anymore. Also, they don't have sewing anymore. That's also gone. They don't have that anymore. I find that terrible. Also, he has a little Mudkip here. Look at the little Mudkip. Look at my homie Mudkip. He actually used to make really good content, and that's why everyone is so angry. Makes sense. Makes sense. I was a proper chunk as a kid because I have a fat family. I have a fat family too. I was the exact opposite. Sometimes I question if am I adopted, because I'm the only one who does not who's also currently not overweight. I'm just I'm strong. I'm in fact strong. I resisted this, but I also work out a lot. What self-hatred does to a motherfucker. But I've noticed the healthy growth of eating habits in the first menu on stream. Yeah, that's like I said. I guess I can inspire people to change. I have that ability, which is good. I learned to make cheesecake in secondary school, but that's it. Yeah, we learned making actually like food. Like, we actually learned making food. Like cooking meat, cooking fish. Like, you actually had that. First cooking is hard, but once your hand is settled, you cook. Yep, taught so many stuff in school that not anymore. Yeah, a lot of stuff is useless. I'm gonna straight up say it. Even in college, most of it is useless. I'm gonna be honest.
And the community loved this. I mean, he grew from being, less than 1 million viewers to now he's nearing 10 million. But then there started to be a turn in recent months. You can probably tell from the Reddit post, those thumbnails were very MrBeasty. The focus was not necessarily on here's something you can cook, whether it's faster, cheaper, or quicker. It was about, oh, you want to click this video? This is going to be interesting to everybody. I mean, even just looking at his most latest videos at the time of recording, we have, I tried every fast food chicken nugget in America.
That's very out of pocket. Like, okay. Also, whatever that chicken nugget is, it's not chicken nugget. How do I know? I've never eaten chicken nugget. American nuggets obviously makes sense. But how do I know? We went to McDonald's. Maybe not all chicken nuggets suck in the United States, but we went to McDonald's and KFC, and she literally said it is not even a taste-wise. It is not like how it like feels and stuff when eating it is not a competition. Like the American McDonald's nuggets and KFC nuggets, they lose. Like they absolutely lose. It's not comparable. It's not comparable. It's literally mystery meat. I doubt that in the United States it's actually meat. It's just some thrown together thing. You could in fact argue that European fast food is actually healthy in comparison to what these guys have. But you did actually worry me for a bit. You were anemic, and when I first met that you were anemic, well, when I first met you, well, I wasn't in the most healthy condition, right? I was very lonely, very depressed. I was just rotting I wasn't rotting all day, but I was like, I didn't feel well at all. Obviously, it has changed now.
I tried every fast food French fry in America. I tested viral cooking gadgets. And you can see the videos have less of a focal point on the food and more of a focal point on the fact that, I don't know, it's content and it could be entertaining to anybody. And this, I think, is when we get into the 3 main reasons that Josh Weissman's community has kind of turned on him. I myself am a huge fan of Josh. I found his videos during the pandemic when I didn't even know how to boil noodles. Really, that's a real thing.
How do you not know how to boil noodles? How do you not know? And also, I'm gonna say it, putting a frozen pizza into an oven is not cooking. You can't cook. You can't. To be fair, my school COVID lockdown hit while I was secondary. They couldn't really run food tech then. Yeah, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. For me, it was like, I was already in high school for my second attempt. Terrible. No one could argue about that. Yep. My Wi-Fi keeps crashing. I'm gonna riot. Burn.
My girlfriend had to show me how to boil noodles. I thought maybe like the temperature of the water was different depending on what you cook. I don't know. I was really ignorant when it came to food. But Josh's video made it really easy for me to move.
Again, how do you boil how do you not know how to boil noodles? It's literally just water. Let it cook. Little bit of salt in there. Noodles in there. Wait until noodles are cooked. Put noodles out of the water. But then again, I know 2 people that burned water. Actually, never mind. That's actually... Okay, yeah.
From not knowing how to boil water into being able to cook the perfect steak. And now I'm at a point where I love cooking. Cooking is a passion of mine, and I would say that from his videos, I've developed a palate now that I can kind of tell what works and what might not. I don't necessarily need a recipe in front of me. If you were to tell me right before I had started watching his videos that was going to be the point I was at, I would have laughed at you. But his videos made it very easy for somebody with no knowledge to pick it up, not feel scared, and to develop a love for it. So now let's get into the 3 reasons why I think Josh's community has turned on him. Number 1, I like to call this food content versus content with food. His videos went from being less the content is the food to content also there is food here. You can tell from the videos we talked about that sure, it's about food. He went and tested a bunch of different fast food restaurants, or he tried this really wacky new gadget, but at the end of the day, that is a piece of content that is tailored to just anybody. It's not specific to the culinary genre. It's not about food. His older videos were about giving somebody with no knowledge in the space just enough knowledge to get them through one step at a time until eventually they felt comfortable cooking. And that audience feels kind of confused when you start releasing videos that really have nothing to do with food other than...
Yeah, it would be like, I do reactions, right? And usually I yap a lot. I yap, like, I've been yapping more than before, actually. If anything, I got better at the yapping. You can see that in my video length, like 40 minutes for like a 8-minute video and like crazy shit, right? I think the hero video today was like 40 minutes for like an 11-minute video, regardless. The thing is this, when you start doing something that is completely like, it doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit your content, it doesn't fit your character, people will start questioning it. Absolutely. People will look at it and be like, yeah, something's not right, something's off. And well, they can clearly tell, because these are challenge videos, and not, well, the first one we saw, right, was a challenge video. It's no longer about the cooking. It just is what it is. It's crazy. Well, I warm my food at the microwave, see, I can cook. You can actually cook somewhat well. You can, in fact, cook somewhat well with a microwave. Yeah, like, you can use a microwave to make recipes. Like, I literally made an omelette with a microwave. That works, actually. What? Water, wait 3 minutes and eat. What do you mean burnt water? Basically, she let it cook in. Like, she let the water completely get evaporated, which then leaves like a burnt stain in a pot, which is crazy.
Then I guess it's kind of adjacent. Number 2, I would say, is stepping away from tradition. In some of his older videos, Josh gives some more daunting dishes, maybe from different cultures, maybe they're fine dining and require a little bit of technique, but he gives them the respect that they deserve. Whether it's making sure to do them the way that they were intended while maybe showing you a different way of doing it as well, Josh had a certain respect that I see a lot of chefs have when it comes to tradition, even if they are people that step away from tradition. I've seen that rub a lot of people the wrong way when he's cooking dishes from different cultures, but, you know, substitutes one ingredient for another when in that culture it's really important to kind of use that ingredient. And that I don't think is a huge deal, but
That's not a huge deal at all. A lot of people just don't have access to some things and maybe need a cheaper alternative. You have to remember, some people are cooking on the budget. You're not making it more accessible that way. And I think especially food and food culture needs to be shared. I definitely think. Now, should like the original recipe be gone? Like, if you can't, you should do the original recipe. But if you can't, I mean, substituting something, or like using something else is not a particular issue. I do that often where I'm like, oh, I forgot this. I don't have this here. Let me Google real quick if there's like an alternative I can use. Oh, I do have that. Great. I'll use that instead. I don't see the issue. Some people are on a budget and they still want to cook.
Seen those criticisms. Third, I would say, is the biggest point, and that is just betraying your audience. I see this as the undertone of every single Reddit comment complaint that is from a genuine fan and not just somebody who wants to get mad and spam their keyboard. Josh's channel started with the focus being accessibility in food. The video essay we watched earlier was against this elitism that existed in the culinary space at the time, and that still persists today, but Josh was a champion of fighting back against that. He wasn't going to judge you for using foods that perhaps had preservatives. He wasn't going to make these great big statements about how certain foods are good, others are bad, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. It was about really educating people on what's the best decisions, but making sure that the community itself was inclusive. There are now videos where Josh is teaching you how to make a pizza, and in the instructions, he's like, put the pizza in your pizza oven. What's that? You don't have a pizza oven? Well, you can do it this way, but this is the right right way to do a pizza.
First up, fire a pizza oven to about 700 to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. What did you say, Josh? Not everybody has a pizza oven like you asshole. Guess what? You can either do the pan pizza version, which we're gonna do in a second, or you can follow our New York pizza method if you're using a home oven.
And that mocking tone he uses in the videos really has rubbed his community the wrong way. It used to be that Josh was teaching you how to make the fancy things at home with things that you already had, ingredients, tools. That slow transition into somebody that kind of uses the mocking tone.
Oh, so it's more than just the switch up on the content. It's the mocking tone. It's the I am better. Or is it that? Oh, yeah, well, that is a problem. That's an issue. I would notice that too. That sounds not good. That's not good. That's not good. That's a problem. That should not happen. Oh. Well, that we have probably even the main reason why people are done with him, kind of. Okay. Understandable.
With his audience has really rubbed people the wrong way, and I believe has made Josh's content the antithesis of some of his older content. And if you even just go back and watch one of the but better but cheaper videos when they had started, or the videos that were a little bit older, the videos were very relaxed, a little lo-fi in the background, there wasn't a ton of editing. This made people feel very comfortable. It removed the stress that we often think of when we think of kitchens. I know that's maybe a weird example, but if you go to any of his more recent videos, you get quick jump cuts, huge edits with swoosh noises and sound effects. It feels very in your face. Now that we've talked about the 3 reasons I think his community has turned on him, I do want to make sure to call this out. Similar to how Josh did.
I don't really think that that's particularly... I don't think that, like, the editing style it makes, like, being in the kitchen uncomfortable or anything. What I believe is that the weird switch up. He cultivated a community of people that like chill, like probably an older, in fact, it's likely an older audience. So if you have those sound effects, those jump cuts, I would assume that an older audience would just be confused and uncomfortable. So it kind of makes sense that people would not like this. Like, even I have an older, funnily enough, I have an older audience. Like, 18 and younger, or actually, in fact, like, 24 and younger. You're on the smaller side, actually, by the way. My audience is more like 24 and older. Like, my major audience is like 24 and 35. Do with that what you will. Really interesting. It's just you can't have that massive switch up with an audience that just doesn't fit that.
In his essay, this is not a video about dogging on Josh. Again, I'm a huge fan. If you see his recent videos, I've watched a lot of them, whether it's ones that he has that are similar to some of his older videos or ones that are super clickbaity. I'm a huge fan, and I owe my love of cooking to Josh. This is not a personality hit piece on Josh Weissman. Rather, I want to gear the focus more towards the platform. You have this creator who has built his audience in his niche, the niche being cooking. I know it's not really that niche, but it's kind of niche, you know? And it used to be that they could grow their audience.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody who's like, oh yes, cooking. I'm into that. Like, I don't really hear that. I would say it's not, maybe not niche, but it's not really, you know, it's like not talked about, right? Nobody's out here being like crazy cook. That just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen.
By continuing to make content for that community. That if they continue to just provide quality new content, the platform would push that and their audience would grow. We've seen it a lot recently on YouTube, that MrBeast-ification of a lot of channels. But a lot of YouTube channels have started to make content that is geared more towards like retention, I guess. It's videos that are made to be
retention and also younger audiences. Like me personally, I cannot watch these videos. Like me, I can't sit through a fast-paced edited video. I can't. My brain just shuts off. Like I can't do that. I just can't.
Watched by anybody with the lowest attention span.
Like it makes me tired. I just zone out because like I don't get it anymore. So I don't really like it, and also loud. I'm not picky, like I said, fast, loud, high contrast of colors. It's just nah. The elderly fuck with VTubers. Apparently they do. Yeah, apparently they do. Apparently they very much do. I think somebody from like Asmongold's chat once said he's like a 50-year-old dude. He just likes to listen to cute women yap. That's pretty much. I think a lot of older dudes are like, ah, yes, cool. Anime woman yapping. I'm a listen. Beastification, but that's what it is, right? That's what it is. You could also call it cocomelonification. I don't know. 31, and you're admin. I'm the oldest who stays around. That's true. That's true. That's true. In chat, you're certainly the oldest here. And obviously my oldest admin.
And possible. A video doesn't have to be in a specific niche or have a certain quality or be accessible. It really just has to entertain you. So quick jump cuts, funny little edits, talking about fast food, those are things that everybody can relate to, and that is how you grow your audience nowadays. I think the problem with Josh is not that he slowly became this culinary elite that now makes these videos and has become better than his audience. Even though some people may feel that way, I truly believe that this is just the natural progression, this poisoning slowly from the platform that we are seeing in Josh's content. And I think Josh has noticed it as well. You know, in that Reddit screenshot, you see a lot of...
Like, yeah, it makes sense. This is what is successful. This is what people are gonna be driven to. It makes sense that content creators are going this way. Also, it's just like, yeah. Have you seen, like... Also, it's been more and more clear that a lot of content creators are not good people as well, like the bigger ones. It's been very interesting.
Those MrBeast type videos, but lately we've also had things like trying vintage recipes, every way to make instant ramen, the best KFC fried chicken. We've seen him kind of start to try and return to that. I believe that Josh hasn't switched up. He hasn't betrayed anybody, even...
Of course, it could actually just be that he's experimenting, right? That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, it could be that he's also just experimenting.
I made that kind of point of saying, you know, betrayed your audience, because that's what this platform has trained me, a very small creator, to do, when in reality, I think the platform has kind of betrayed the best interest of not only the viewer, but the creators themselves. Now, instead of being able to just teach people how to cook, and anybody who wants to learn can come and find him, if you just search cooking or food, you'll see videos from these creators that are just, it's not about that, man. It's made to be watched while you're eating and be like, muh, just like grunt and move on. It's also not a problem that's exclusive to Josh. Another creator that I like, Binging with Babish, he also started from a place of...
Like I said, I think a lot of people are experimenting and trying to figure out if what they're doing actually works or not. I think it's a lot of experimenting going on currently, which is fine. That's totally fine.
Accessibility, showing people how to make their favorite foods, and now some of his highest performing recent videos are things like trying every different spaghetti sauce. It's such a sickness on the platform that these creators who came from a place of genuine relatability, trying to make food accessible to people, have been forced to kind of slowly transition into this corporate, retention-washed amalgamation of themselves. A total antithesis of what they once stood for. But that's my thoughts on the topic. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of all this. If you think, you know, maybe I'm being too harsh on Mr. Josh. Josh, if you're watching, I'm very sorry. Please don't hate me. Again, I'm a huge fan. If you like this video and you want to watch another video about Josh, I actually have a friend who made a very similar video. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. I highly recommend it. That being said, I make videos just about whatever the heck I want to talk about as a kind of self-protest to YouTube.
Pretty much the end of the video. I'm gonna stop here. Yeah. I agree that we slightly have an issue with, MrBeast-ification. I mean, Jacksepticeye, in fact, did straight up say it, right? Jacksepticeye literally said it. Like, he literally straight up said that MrBeast ruined YouTube because it became more about retention, it became more about views than about content creation or about having fun, which is very, very true. I think these people are just a lot of them are just experimenting, trying to figure out what does work, what does not work. He's not completely left yet. So I think there's a good chance that he might switch around again. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I maybe may look at some of the videos for cooking and stuff. That sounds interesting. I will try that out.